Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Struggle is Real.
Struggle is real.
I am your host, Mahalia Latorchio.
There you go. I'm Eric Francisco Medina.
I'm the producer / sound engineer, Ryan Pack, baby.
No one cares
No.
about you.
Wow!
I'm just kidding.
So
We're lucky to
cold.
have Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you.
So before we jump into today's interview, which I am so excited for, because we are going to be interviewing Nick. Oh, Jesus. Help me with this last name.
Tabidze.
Sorry, Nick.
Tabidze. Sorry in advance. But he was actually my DP for my thesis film, Chocolate Thunder. And we've worked with Nick on several occasions for multiple projects.
Right.
And he has done some pretty amazing things that we can't wait to share with you guys. But before we jump into that, let's talk music videos.
Love music videos.
So, group, what are our favorite music videos?
Okay. Visually, I really liked Humble by Kendrick Lamar.
This is a good music video. Yes,
Especially
Yes.
The
Kendrick is so...
spotlight with the haze, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I love it. It's like, for some
I
reason.
love the bobbing heads.
Oh yes,
They
that
were
too.
nodding. That was
Yeah.
my favorite part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's mesmerizing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because they were all bald.
Yeah.
He was the only one with hair. No, they were. They were
That's
all bald.
true.
He was the only
That's
one with
true.
hair, so naturally your eyes went straight to him. Yeah, it was visually that was amazing.
Also, I think they had this like cool camera rig where like
They did. They like zoomed in
Zoomed
on him
in.
when he was doing the
Yeah,
flow
and looking
for certain
around.
parts.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
why
yeah.
I did this. Like that was doing something.
so, yeah.
But for me, I have to go with all the Michael Jackson music videos. Only because they're basically short films. They have a clear beginning, middle, and end. There are even actors, like there's a whole premise, a prologue to the music video.
Which is very difficult to do because
Yeah.
music, you gotta go with the music. You gotta try to like match it with the music. So
Yeah.
And there just aren't, like nowadays music videos, to me, just feel like there's no clear narrative.
yeah,
It's
just
really
sort of throw
abstract.
stuff,
It's
too.
just pretty pictures. They're just throwing things
Yeah.
together.
Right.
And I mean, that's fine for some, but I miss a traditional narrative.
right.
That's just me.
Yeah, at least for me, I was actually trying to think of music videos, but I really love, this is a cultural thing, salsa music videos, which most of them are like live orchestra music videos, and you see them like interact with the crowd. I love that. I mean, cultural stuff, I guess. I mean, urban music in Puerto Rico also is just like people dancing, and usually in beaches or tropical areas or nightclubs with cool lights. It's just showcasing, I guess, Puerto Rico and its beauty. But technical stuff, yes, Michael Jackson, Kendrick Lamar has amazing music video, but Beyonce did the visual album
Lemonade.
and it felt like a music. They did an entire HBO special. It was directed by Melina Matsoka, and it was also RiTE Morano. I don't know. I think she was a DP. But you have actual filmmakers directing a music video, and I that was the first time that I ever seen.
Visually stunning.
Yeah, and I mean I haven't seen a lot of Beyonce's music video until I saw that short, basically that movie, and it just an entire narrative, and it was, you could see the intention. It looked like cinema. It felt like cinema. I don't.
No,
that
it
was
did.
cool.
There was that whole sequence where she was underwater, and everything was underwater, and it was so. It looked so good. It looked so good.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I'm excited
I
to check
wish
it
more
out.
people would do visual albums. To be honest.
Yeah.
I think
I think that'd be a great way for filmmakers to break into the industry
Also.
as well. Just outside of music videos, because then you kind of get the best of both worlds, where you get the practicality of a music video, but you also kind of get the experience of shooting a feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
right.
like you said, it's like bite-sized content, I guess, of directing. And young directors are more often allowed to direct music videos. And you have Nick, our host for today, but you also have the young girl who directed Drake's music video with all the black actresses and comedians. Good for it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think the name.
Nice for what?
Nice for what? Nice for what? Yeah. So it was a young girl, if I'm not mistaken, that directed that music
it's not
video.
nice for
And
what?
she
Which one is
I don't think she was older than
In My Feelings?
No, it's not In My Feelings. But I don't think it was.
No, you're right. It's nice for what?
She
that
wasn't
had
like
all the Olivia Wilde was in it.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I said black actress. But there's a lot of black actresses there, right?
No, there is.
But she got the opportunity of directing that music video, and she was pretty young. So I think music videos are a gateway for young directors to get into the industry and just experience their talent and their creativity in a not linear quote unquote way. But you also have extremely linears like Michael Jackson and Beyonce's music videos that are just masterpieces.
Yeah.
I think you can play. You have more leverage of wow. What up? Sorry, my Spanish is kicking me. More libertad de creatividad. There you go, Spanglish.
Liberty of creativity.
Yeah, creative liberty of approaching.
I'm
ideas.
Learning Spanish,
There you
guys.
go.
I got it.
You guys are gonna learn too. But I don't know. It's a fun way to explore your head and the artist head.
I think the music video that I've liked recently was the one with Marshmello and Bastille for their song "Happier" with Miranda Cosgrove in it.
Oh,
it was really cute because it followed like the story of her and her dog. It's not the story I thought they would choose, but I loved it. I thought it was really cute. Like it was emotional. A lot of people were like, "Oh my god, you're gonna make me cry."
Oh god.
But I also like the simple music videos.
Yeah.
I think I don't like the middle ground. I like either super simple or super. Adele has a music video. I have one of her song. I think is "If We Were Young," if I'm not mistaken. She's just singing in front of a band. I don't know if it's just, but it's just a wall of speakers. I think it's just singing there, and that's so cool and powerful. So I like either super simple or either super cinematic.
The Panic at the Disco, the music video for High Hopes.
Oh,
that was really it was a simple concept, but it was really cool because he's basically just scaling a building for the whole song. But I'm like,
people are
this is
watching
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
People are like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's so hard talking about this music videos and not
actually
singing.
playing them and singing
Yeah, it's
them.
When We Were Young. It's actually live at a Shure studio. Sorry, I went back to Adele. But it was When We Were Young, and just I like live performances. It feels. I
Sam Smith does some really wonderful live performances,
and it's very unique too. It's just the choreography and it's something about Sam Smith.
I didn't know, but does he record it on music videos? And
like he has. Oh Jesus, what is that one song?
But I like that. I like
when you can hear the song in your head, but you're like, damn it, what's the title?
Yeah. I mean.
Is it Too Good at Goodbye?
And also, I like dancing in music videos. If you are singing a catchy
he did
song,
live from the chapel. So sometimes he goes to like different churches and sings
that's
it live.
great. I mean, the echo, it should be crazy. But
dancing, like
if I see a singer just in the middle like this or doing and you have a really big song, come on, I don't know, learn from Beyonce, Justin Timberlake, J-Lo, work dancing, Michael Jackson.
Oh, Justin Timberlake did that, the music video for Say Something. I think it was like all one long take, or it was like supposed to feel like one long take. It was interesting.
Interesting.
And then of course we have to talk about Sia as well.
Oh,
I forgot about her. She's great.
She's amazing. She
That
got the
music
dancer
video.
Maddie.
That Chandelier music.
She
actually
so good. Shia LaBeouf dancing.
Yeah, I was like so surprised.
And she actually has she created a group with Diplo and another actor. I think he's from England. It's LSD. They're called LSD, and it's Labyrinth, Sia, and Diplo. That's their name.
Oh, nice!
Amazing music videos, and it's with the dancer too.
I have to type in LSD music, not
So LSD, it's called Thundercloud.
Yeah, you're right.
Thundercloud is just a dope music video.
That's awesome.
And it's great. We should play it after this, guys.
Yeah.
Not here though.
No copyright.
But it's good.
I guess for you guys, what makes a good music video?
I mean, you should have a clean narrative. You should have something happening in music
Even
video.
if it is abstract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Give me something to where I'm like, I understand.
Yeah.
Because what I don't like is when the visual doesn't match what the song is about.
Yeah.
What is the point of doing a music video if what you're conveying in the video is not what the message is about?
Yeah.
Right.
That makes no sense to me.
Gotcha.
So, like, I understand abstract and experimental, but give me something that I can connect to for the song. Like, put it together. Bridge that gap.
Name drop a bad music video.
I hate Katy Perry's Dark Horse. I hate it.
I mean, I don't like her music.
I hate it.
So,
I hate it.
She might be a good. I don't know her.
You know what
she
it
looks
is?
like a nice girl. I don't like the music video.
So, for those of you who haven't seen the music video, YouTube it. But she's like in Egypt as like. It's Katy Perry-esque, right? So it's not like gritty or anything. It's like frou-frou, whatever. But the song Dark Horse is, I think it's kind of like her like transforming into like a dark horse or something like that.
But
like,
so why Egypt? Was
I
there
don't
like
know. That's the thing. Because even in the song, she's like, "Make me your Aphrodite."
Oh, man.
Why are we in Egypt?
Yeah, isn't that Greek mythology?
Yes, like that's not Egypt. Damn it! You didn't say make me Anubis. Like make me your Aphrodite. But like the way I thought they were gonna do it was like I thought it was gonna be like this medieval thing of her, like even like look at the cover art, right? Like this. We'll put like screenshots so you guys can see. But like this was the music video, right? But if you look up the album cover,
the artwork,
artwork,
I really don't remember.
It's literally.
Wasn't it like rainbows and unicorns?
No, it was this.
Let me see. Interesting.
So, yeah.
It's very.
So I thought, oh, this is obviously gonna be like medieval, whatever. She's gonna play like this witch because they talk about like putting you
Black
under
magic,
a spell
right?
and stuff like that. And then when it came to the rapping part, I don't know why I saw this in my head, but I thought the rapper was gonna be like the mirror on the wall, like you know how from Shrek they had the mask and the mirror on the wall. I thought that's what he was gonna be talking about because he's like, oh, like if you don't be careful, she'll bewitch you or something like that, like you'll be under her spell or something like that. So I was like, oh, we're gonna go for like this medieval magic vibe. We're in fucking Egypt.
And also the concept of being a dark horse, the title.
Yeah, dark horse. Like it just. It made no sense to me whatsoever, and it was just ridiculous. I fucking hated it.
And do you have any bad music videos?
Bad music videos?
I've seen some, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't understand Lady
Friday.
Gaga's.
Friday by Rebecca.
Oh, Friday!
Throwback!
The poor girl.
The
She's
poor girl.
suffering.
I know she does not want to talk about it anymore. She's like, I hate it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't have any more.
You gotta bring.
But I'm sorry, sis. We had to honorable mention.
Mistakes. I mean, I've seen some, but I can't remember.
Same.
You don't have. I mean, rap music videos are not technically good because you have just girls dancing around. Doesn't say much anything. Rock videos, I have most of them. I mean, Evidences. What's her? I love that video.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of rock videos just like kind of senseless and just like jumping around, and it's like, okay, cool, thank you. I mean, I understand the thing of showcasing your music and making it look good and cool.
Oh, you know what music video I liked?
What?
Girls. What?
By.
5?
Girls
like you.
Yeah. Stop singing it.
Oh, sorry. Copyright. But like that one was cool because they
they have difference, but
they had different actors.
But
it
mimes the message. It's the same thing with Drake. It's important and relevant to the song. It's not you're not throwing crazy stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's a cool approach. Maybe it's not gonna be linear, but it showcase something. It's not crazy. You're not throwing stuff. Right. You can do little stuff. You can. I mean, you can have. I remember this music video from J-Lo. She comes in and singing, and the daughter hides under the bar, under like her DJ booth while she goes and performs. It's just, you can have this, and it just happens at the end of the beginning of the music video. So it gives you like, oh, mom is working while the kid is having fun in the booth. So it's just shows you a little bit too. Gives you like a story to follow in the music video.
Right,
yeah.
Even though if you don't maybe think about it, you just it happens. But when you actually think about what's going on, you can wait, you have a story here.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to throw in Missy Elliott had amazing music videos.
She's great.
Always.
She's great.
Always.
What? She's amazing.
Always.
Amazing.
I will not hear anything bad about Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
I just won't.
She deserves everything.
Also, other honorable mention: Kanye West, Fade with Tiana Taylor, the dancer.
Yes.
First of all, Tiana Taylor's
amazing, beautiful.
I think she's about to drop an album in like less than a week or something.
She already dropped it.
Did she?
Yeah.
I didn't pre-order it. Oh God. Okay. Well, now you know what I'm doing after the show. But God, her body, Jesus.
Man.
She's like built. Damn.
Oh, really?
Perfect.
Yeah, like abs sculpted, like I don't think there's an ounce of body fat on this woman, like at all.
She looks
and
like
killed it
like
in the music video.
You know those sculptures, like Greek sculptures?
Yeah.
Perfectly. That's
That's dedication, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Holy cow.
It's hard work and dedication.
And she had a baby, and she came. Oh my God, snatching back naturally. God bless her. God bless her.
But yeah, Kanye West. This Kanye West has good videos.
We won't talk about Kanye West anymore.
We won't.
I feel like have you guys watched the music video Level Up by Sierra?
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was good. That was a good dance number.
Is that the one with the dancers?
Yeah.
I feel like one of the music videos that needs, like, the reason they're good is visually it's appealing, and
Also, she's hot.
Okay, well,
I mean, that's not
visually appealing. It has story.
She's beautiful though, like, first of all, good job, Sierra. I don't know what prayer she prayed, but God bless her.
She came back. She took a long
She came
hiatus.
back. She was done with Future. Thank God. She did not need to be with Future.
Oh, they dated?
The rapper. Oh,
yeah, they have a...
Hey, man, I'm behind this, like, the news. Is that why she took that long hiatus, or...?
No, it was after the hiatus.
Are you affected by this?
Ryan didn't know.
Okay,
yo, educate me, man. I'm behind all these news.
Anyway.
Ryan.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
I think we named a couple of good music videos.
So the reason why we're talking about music videos is because our good friend Nick, who we're interviewing today, actually did a music video for Little Skies, co-directed a music video for Little Skies called Having My Way, and it has over 1 million views. So
holla.
Yeah, he killed it in that. Yeah. So we can't wait to jump into this interview with him. So we're going to go ahead and call him now. Well, Nick, first, how do I pronounce your last name? I'm so ashamed to ask this, but I don't want to butcher it.
No, it's all good. It's Tabidze.
Okay. Sorry. So terrible. Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So, I mean, where do you want me to start? Like, kind of like high school? Like, when things kind of began?
Start from where your filmmaking career began.
Okay, well, I mean, I would say like high school would be like the very start of it. Just because like I did a lot of acting in high school and show choir and stuff like that. And I think that's what kind of the acting and directing theater is what got me into filmmaking. So I was doing a lot of theater in high school, and then when I was going to college, I had to figure out, what was I going to study? Was it going to be film and theater, or was I going to do like something in STEM, like science or engineering? And I think, just because of like, I guess the pressures of like being I guess like a first generation American citizen, I
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to do science. I'm going to be a biology major and then go to med school. And it wasn't until, I don't know, like 3/4 of the way through, like, of my like degree that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna I'm gonna be a filmmaker. So I finished the biology degree, then I went and did a master's in journalism to kind of get better at storytelling and writing, learn a little bit more about camera, and then I moved to Atlanta. So that's like the synopsis. That's a very, very general overview. There's a lot of other stops here and there, a lot of other inspirations and things that kind of put me on this path. Yeah.
Yeah. So what specifically got you into film? What's I guess the first moment you said that, well, okay, this is the route that I need to follow?
Yeah. So when I was at WVU, West Virginia University, where I did my biology degree and journalism degree, there was this film competition called Campus Movie Fest, and I think a lot of people are familiar with it because they visit, a lot of universities, across the states and even the United Kingdom. And my friend and longtime collaborator Afshin Masagi, he was like, "Hey, we should submit something to this film festival," and we did, and it was like a really, really, really crappy, like 5-minute short film, and we like had all these continuity errors, and we shot on these like little camcorders that we had just found, and but we won like best comedy at the university level, and we were both kind of shocked, and I think that was kind of like the first like spark, that kind of ignited this flame that came to be where I am now, right? And it was just continuing to do that and continuing to direct theater that I realized, like, okay, like, I'm getting better at this, first of all, and like two, I'm really finding like a stride with it, so maybe I should pursue this as a full-time career.
Yeah, that's
nice.
Cool. Yeah.
So you did something really cool recently. You co-directed the Little Skies music video.
Hey.
And it has like over 1 million views now, if I'm not mistaken. So first of all, congratulations.
Flex, man, flex. Flex the actual number.
18 million right now, I think.
Oh my God. Good. You go, boy. Okay.
Yeah.
People are kind of doing it in the industry. So what was that? Tell us about that experience. What was it like? First of all, what's it like co-directing, and what was it like working with an artist like Little Sky and working with the music labels?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was crazy. Well, co-directing, I love co-directing because it's a bit easier than, taking on a project by yourself. Especially if you're co-directing with someone that you're familiar with and you have good like work relationship with. And my co-director, Autumn McDonald, or Astronaut, he's he's like a hyper creative, a bit zany. He's like a bit all over the place, which is why he was like the perfect fit, right? I'm a little more like logical and technical, and I want to think about the process, and he's a little more off the wall, like, hey, we should try this because why not,
Yeah.
And it was a really good mesh, between our two personalities and our two styles. And and other co-directions I've done in the past with like theater, it's always fun because you can share the workload and you can kind of like work off each other, and there's like a very like nice brain trust that's just the two of you to bounce ideas off of one another. You don't feel like you're taking on too much or biting off too much as an individual, because you have someone to share the workload with, which is really nice. And then working with Skies, I mean, that was like, to me, that was a dream come true, because I remember like being in high school and being in college, there was this like videographer, like music video director by the name of Nicholas Jandora, which a lot of people also know him as like a big music video director now, he's like a big inspiration for me, because he was directing all these crazy music videos and doing all these crazy edits just off of his like MacBook, and I was like, holy shit, like this guy's insane. And then like he found Little Skies, like, and he started working with Little Skies, and they both kind of came up together. Like Little Skies is he's from Pennsylvania, Jandora's from West Virginia, and like when they got together, when they started working together, they kind of popped off together. So Little Skies became really famous and got his like, you know, his like acclaim with his music, and Jandora found his stride with his music videos, and now, you know, look, like Jandora is like directing all these other big music videos. But it was a personal goal of mine to direct a video for Little Skies.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, man, like if I could get to that point, by the time Jandora got to that point, I think I would have, like, that was just how I measured my success in a way. And I think, like, I mean, like, people talk about this all the time, like, there is no real path to being a director or like an actor or a filmmaker. You kind of have to find your own path. So like looking at someone else, that might not be the best role model or best guide for yourself, but I found that opportunity through RiTE Media Group, which, I mean, we could talk about that later.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah. We could talk about RiTE later, but they really put the opportunity in front of me, and like as soon as I saw it, I went, you know, as hard as I could into getting that project, and working with the labels was great. I mean, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. What was crazy about the Little Skies project is that we had like a very low budget. It was like 10,000 or something. So we had to really pool like every like resource that we had, and ask all our friends for help. And you know, at the end of the day, like if you were to really calculate how much money we would have spent, it would have been up to like $30,000, just because of all the people who came out for the love of the art and for the love of us to see us kind of succeed, right? Which is just really like heartwarming, and it makes it really like makes it really feel like it wasn't just me, and it wasn't just Otto astronaut, right? It was a whole production, a whole crew working together to make this amazing piece come to life, right? It was awesome. I mean, I can remember like watching, like sitting in like in the theater that we were at, like this abandoned theater in East Atlanta Village, and we were watching some playback, and the commissioner from the label came up and he was like, hey, like, you know, like, well, I know we're only halfway done with the shoot, but like looking at what I saw, you already have the music video. You just need to take it home. And I was like, oh, like we're not finished aspect of it. We're not finished. We have like another performance to shoot. He's like, I know, but like, you guys have it. Like, you guys are solid. So just like,
that's great, man.
Just take it home.
I mean, that's a nice thing to hear from the commissioner.
It was incredible. Yeah. And I think a lot of the reasons, well, the biggest reason why we got the job was because RiTE Media put their faith in us, right? Me and Astronaut. Like, I never directed anything of that caliber, and Otto had never directed anything of that caliber. So having that confidence in us was amazing. Like knowing that they had our backs was just incredible too.
That's great.
What were some of the parameters that you had to work around, like with the label? Like, were there things that you couldn't put in the music video, or things like they specifically wanted? Like what were those things?
So every label kind of has like their requirements that they need in the video. So with like Atlantic, which I think is where Little Skies is like signed, actually, no, it's not Atlantic. I could be wrong about that, but I'll double check. I think it's RCA. But anyway, they require like very specific things. Like the artist must have, you know, 3 performance scenes in the music video. You know, there must be like the narrative must be there. There's like a bunch of like bullet points that you just have to meet. And you can kind of like work around those. You can be very fluid as to how you fulfill those. But I remember the commissioner, you know, at the job, Devin, he was like, hey, like we still have another performance, so don't forget about that. So in our initial treatment, we only had 2. We didn't have 3. So we had to, you know, on the day, okay, like let's add another. We'll like do this cool thing where like we have like a lantern above skies, and it has like this crazy like silhouette, and you'll see it in the music video. But, he and Skies was super impressed by that performance because it was just so simple, you know, and Devin was impressed with it as well, and it was really easy to shoot. You know, it was just one light set up, boom, done.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
If correct me if I'm wrong, it's called Having My Way, the music video, right?
Having My Way, yep.
Yeah, so guys, look it up, support Nick. He's a great filmmaker.
We'll be dropping it in the description as well for people to check out.
Before we get more into you as a filmmaker and your work at RiTE Media, tell us a little bit about how do you approach a project? Like, what's your workflow? How do you, I guess, sit down and brainstorm all your ideas or organize yourself as a filmmaker? So just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'll try my best. I mean,
I know every project is different. So
yeah, every project is
approach
different.
changes.
But what's your formula?
My formula, it changes every time,
Yeah.
and it changes for the better, I should say, because every project you work on, you learn something new, right? Exactly. So, I don't know. For me, I guess it's like I guess I like to think of it like with a logical scientific approach, like scientific method. I think like, okay, like what are the 5 questions? Like who, what, when, where, why? What's my purpose? What's my method? Why, how do I do this? How do I accomplish it? And like, what are the results going to look like? That's kind of my initial approach to everything. I think nowadays, after shooting Having My Way and then working on this feature with my collaborator Afshin Masagi, there's like just a lot more effort in pre-production and thinking of every single aspect of a project. And sometimes with music videos, that's not an option because the tracks come in like, they come in and they ask for a treatment the next day, right? And you can't really take the time to like think of every detail. But when that time is there, that's what I do. I try to consider everything. I consider, the mood and tone, the cinematography, sound design and music and even marketing. That's probably the last thing I think of because it's the thing I probably dislike the most. But I think that's like the basic method. But I try not to. And this is, I guess, where it gets kind of like convoluted and difficult. So I try not to put myself in such a tight box. And I think most people will agree that like when you're on set, you have to be very like fluid and adaptive because you might be on a shot for way too long, and you might have to like cut something or rewrite something. Like with Chocolate Thunder, Mahalia, like our lead actress like didn't show up, right?
Yeah,
you have to like rewrite. You and Eric had to rewrite and change the whole scene up just to make it work, right? Waiting for the next actress to come in. So, I guess it's being like water. I guess is like what I try to be like the most. Just being able to take the form of what I need to take the form of, and then when things happen, be ready to be fluid and be ready to adapt to change and be ready to listen. You know what I mean? And not think for myself like I'm right, you're wrong, but listening to ideas and then being able to bounce those ideas back and forth and come up with solutions.
Right. I will say I am an avid fan of Nick. As we mentioned, Nick DP'd my thesis film, and having you as my DP was probably the best decision I ever made. No, because you were so, as you said, you were so fluid, and it was really easy to work with you and just bounce ideas off of you.
Yeah.
And you were just truly a joy to work with. I don't know what I would have done if I had somebody else. So I appreciate your workflow and I appreciate your work ethic. So.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I love hearing that. I mean, when I came to Atlanta, the first thing I thought was, man, there's like so much opportunity here. And I worked with some people on set who were just kind of stuck, where they were, and they were kind of just like working in film like it was a 9 to 5. And I couldn't help but think like, being from West Virginia, where film is practically non-existent, I just coming down here and thinking like, there's so much opportunity, there's so much going on. Like, how could you not take advantage of all this like gold, that's around here? So every time I'm on set, I'm just like really grateful for the opportunity that I can be practicing this art. You know what I mean? That a year ago, like if you would ask me a year ago today, like if I would have DP'd your film or what I would have done Little Skies, I would have said no, like, or maybe like a year and a half because I was still in West Virginia, but I would have said no. I would not have believed it, but now that I'm here and I'm seeing all this opportunity in Atlanta, I'm a very like avid supporter of the ATL film community,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you told us that you work in RiTE Media.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what's RiTE Media and what projects exactly have you worked on and you collaborated with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So RiTE Media Group is a they're amazing production company. The real goal in production is like the pursuit of the unseen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have this like they're working incredibly hard to just elevate what is film production. And I mean, some of the stuff that comes out of there is just some of the most eye-opening and like visually compelling material in the world. And they have such a amazing process when it comes to storytelling, in all aspects. You know, they have this like they pursue perfection, you know, to this like like crazy degree, and it's just incredible seeing like the amount of work ethic that goes into it. And the people that work there are just so driven and so so detailed, and it's really inspiring. And it's kind of the reason why I've kind of changed my workflow and my approach to certain projects. Just seeing the amount of attention to detail that they have. But they specialize in motion control. If you've seen those like crazy robots that do like
I remember you took me into the studio and like just seeing all the toys that they had. I was so impressed.
Yeah, right. And they're about to get some more robots, which is really exciting. And their DPs are incredible. Our CEO and CTO are amazing. Post-production supervisor. Everyone there is just, you know, on a whole nother level.
They have beer in their studio. They have a beer on tap. That was the most impressive thing I had ever seen. I was like, this is a cool place. This is a cool place. Cool people work here.
You guys know how to warm a holiday until
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, that's a big misconception about RiTE Media Group is they see the robot and they think, oh, it's a bunch of like geeks around this robot. But you walk in and you're like, there's music playing, there's like colorful lighting. It's really like a really hip place to be. You can tell that we're still kind of in touch, you know, with the world and culture, which is really nice. But yeah, besides like motion control, we do a lot of super slow motion stuff, like with feature films.
Nice. Yeah.
Which is really amazing. I know that some of our DPs have just come off. What's the new like Disney Plus show with Loki with Tom Hiddleston?
I think it's not out yet, but
it's not out yet.
Yeah, it's called Loki. I think it's called Loki too.
Is it called Loki? Yeah. So one of our
Eric would know more than me.
one of our DPs, Justin Dombrowski, actually was shooting super slow motion stuff for that show.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Crazy. Yeah, so we're like
that's
really
so nice to know that all of this is happening out in our own backyard, because a lot of people think you just have to go to LA, you have to go to New York, but it's not true. There are things happening right here in Atlanta, and things are growing.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, RiTE does so much. We do. So there's obviously the robot stuff. There's tabletop commercial. There's the narrative feature film stuff that we do. And currently we're working on like virtual production with like COVID-19 being like a real big thing. We're working on trying to like make it so you could, you know, render environments, you know, behind you that are real time while creating parallax with like motion control.
Wow.
With real life actors to create like real time sets. So if you've seen Mandalorian, right? Have you guys seen Mandalorian? Yeah. So Mandalorian does this exact same thing. They throw up a big screen, project an environment, and then they can shoot whatever they want. So that's what we're doing. But we're the first company to do it with motion control, which is really exciting.
That's awesome. How revolutionary.
Yeah, I know. It's exciting. But it's happening in Atlanta, which is really
that's good. You see, guys, in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a brown man, you're part of the brown community, Latinos. You got Hispanic,
Georgian.
Correct? Georgian.
Yeah. Country guys. Middle Eastern.
Yes, the country, not the state.
Hugs a lot of people, guys. But what kind of stories are you interested in? And what kind of stories do you want to see more of? Because yes, we are having a little bit of representation, just a little bit. It's not enough yet. But from what you've seen, what do you like and what do you desire to see more?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Yeah, I mean, for me, I would love to see more diversity in film. I think many people, many minorities want to see that, right?
Yeah. For
And I
sure.
think it's very easy to say that the pendulum is kind of swinging in that direction, or it is in that spot or in that zone. But I mean, what I really appreciate is when it's not so pointed, when it's like subtle enough that the story is still there, but it's also a very universal story. But it's about, for me, it's about the undertone of it all. You know what I mean? Like something like Moonlight, I think, is like a really good example, because you're talking about this like this incredible story that's incredibly well shot, that isn't necessarily like so in your face about the racial things, right? Or the homophobia that the main character experiences. It's those kinds of stories that I want to tell, and whether it be in a comedic or dramatic way. I mean, I would love to do drama and thriller. I think that's what, when I watch that, that's what I love the most.
Yeah.
But I know that, you know, I'm not there yet. I don't think I have enough life experience to kind of, you know, hit those really, really soft spots in people's hearts to make them think like, oh, wait a minute, like I should think about that some more, think about that perspective.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would say is like bridging the gap, bridging the divide between the, like we'll say, quote unquote, the right and the left, right? And I think, you know, I mean, I had a conversation with a friend the other day about like, you know, looking at someone and calling them a racist isn't going to make them stop being a racist. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You need to be able to like communicate effectively your ideas and perspectives to kind of, you know, make them see a different side or a different truth, you know. And that's what I want to do. I want to express humanity, express truth in the most real way possible.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
does it answer your question? I don't know if I.
No, it does. It
Okay.
does. That was a
You did,
very
you
good
did.
answer. It was a very good answer. And I agree with you on exactly what you said. So being that you're a person of color, how does your culture affect the way that you perceive film and television?
Oh, that's a good point. A good question, I should say. You know what? Being from West Virginia and kind of being in this like almost like, it felt like kind of felt closed off. I didn't
I was
really
going to
pay it
ask, how was your experience there?
in West Virginia. I mean, it was pretty good. I mean, there were definitely times when, you know, I mean, like I got called as a nickname, as a fun nickname. I was called Brown Nick in high school.
Oh,
And
no.
like I yeah, I know. There was another Nick in high school. He was called White Nick. It was just, we knew at the time it was kind of funny. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like a little screwy.
Yeah.
But I have a few anecdotes. I mean, like I remember I worked at Lowe's in the paint department, and like this old guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, like, what's your last name?" And I was like, "Tabidze." He was like, "I knew you were Mexican," and he like walked
Oh
off.
my God! I knew that was
Like, come on,
coming.
dude,
I knew
like,
that was
I was
coming.
like,
Oh Jesus!
They're always doing it to us. They're always
And
taking the
there's-
black community. We're like, guys, we're
Yeah.
different. We love each other, but we're different.
yeah. There was another time, and this story is I think this story is pretty good. Like I was in the 8th grade, and I was in Spanish 1, and we were learning directions like north, south, Route 11, like, you know, those kinds of things. And I was at a friend's house, and like I was just like waiting outside, waiting for my dad to come by and pick me up. And this guy in a white pickup truck stopped by, and in Spanish he asked like, "Donde está Route 11?" And my dumb ass was like, "Oh, I know how to speak in Spanish. I know how to give directions in Spanish." So I gave him directions in Spanish, and he was like, "Oh, gracias," and he like drove off. And when he drove off, I was like, "I am such an idiot. Like, why did I just speak English? Like, I was like Latino, and like I like spoke Spanish to me. It was ridiculous."
That's
But
great.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like there's funny anecdotes, and there's obviously like, you know, like the bad stuff where I got like shit thrown at me, and like I was like called a terrorist and stuff. But it was all like, it was all very sparse and stuff. And I'm sure it's like that in other places as well. But I will say that like I know I did not experience like the worst of it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not blind that like to that perspective that like, okay, like I could call the terrorist, but like whenever I get pulled over by a cop, I'm not like, oh shit, what's gonna happen to me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, it was pretty great. You know what I mean? Overall, like there were a lot of I made a lot of progressive friends, a lot of progressive friends who have like helped me in my career. shout out to Professor Daniel Brewster. I mean, he'll probably listen to this, but he was a really, really big help, and kind of like, I don't know, making me see like the path, right, and making me see like my potential. And
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So
we support professors on this podcast.
Yeah, and yeah, so many. I mean, yeah, there are obviously bad people, but I like all the good people can like definitely make up for all the bad experiences.
Yeah,
right,
for sure. What was your biggest obstacle being a first-time filmmaker? Maybe it was something physical, maybe an insecurity. What was that big rock that sometimes,
As like a
make
filmmaker?
you, yeah.
Like, because this podcast is mainly about, it's for first-time filmmakers who are trying to overcome the obstacles of getting into the industry.
Yeah.
So what was an obstacle that you faced that you had to overcome?
For me, it was lack of connection. Lack of networking, lack of connection, and also lack of resources. I'm pretty prideful, so I don't want to ask my parents for anything. I'm already living in their basement, so like I should not. I'm living in their basement. Maybe that's like maybe that's something too, right? I'm like, that's a struggle too. But yeah, no, like being able to decide to leave West Virginia, where I could have had a career, and just like throw it all away for maybe a chance at directing, a chance at filmmaking. When I first moved to Atlanta, I floundered around for like three to 4 months. You know what I mean? Just not knowing who to go to, where to go. I didn't really know anybody. And then I got incredibly lucky when I got connected with RiTE Media Group. So yeah, I would say connection was the most difficult thing for me, connecting with people and just finding those people. And before moving to Atlanta, I would say knowledge and education. I mean, YouTube is great. I mean, that's where I get most of my knowledge about filmmaking, right? But there was never that like on-set experience that's just like so invaluable, right, for filmmakers. It wasn't until like when I was in West Virginia, I called myself a DP because I was like, oh yeah, I got a nice camera, I can like point a light at something and it's pretty, right? And then I came down here and I got on a set and I was just shocked. You know what I mean? I saw these lights and I saw this DP working with his gaffers. I was like, what the heck is a gaffer? What the heck is a grip? Like, and he was like calling out all these different lights and he was saying like, yeah, get that sky panel over here and like, move that mole over here or whatever. And I was just like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know what these lights are. Like, I don't understand like the technical, electrician side of being a DP. And yeah, so when I first came down here, I was like, I'm not a DP. It took me a minute to get that confidence back up for something like that. So yeah, I would say, yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers the question.
No, it did. What were some of the things that you did to get on set? Like, how did you go about like networking and finding those resources? Yeah,
I mean, Instagram was the main thing for me. So I came down to Atlanta, like, it was like summer of 2018. And I, met with Ryan Monolopoulos and I met Molly Coffey. And I followed them on Instagram. And like when I moved to Atlanta, I reached out to them. I was going to be on set for Molly's film, but it got canceled because of like the flooding that happened in North Georgia at like I think that fall. And then Ryan, he was busy shooting a proof of concept with RiTE Media Group. And he missed my direct message. But then after the proof of concept was finished, he sent me a DM, was like, hey, I'm so sorry I missed this. I just followed you back. So the next time something happens, I'll see it. And that's how I got to meet RiTE Media Group. They needed a photographer for like a live event. And like he posted something on his story about, hey, we need a photographer, live event. It's free work. But we'll like feed you or something like that. And within 10 seconds, I messaged him and I was like, hey, like I'm free. Like, where do I got to go? Who do I have to meet? So he like gave me Sam Green. He's like one of the executive producers at RiTE Media Group. He gave me his contact information and I dressed up in like this really nice suit, like black tie. I showed up with my like camera and I walk into a bar and everyone's like just casually and I'm like, oh shit, like. But I walked around, I took a bunch of photos, and I met everyone on the RiTE Media team. And then that's when like Sam told me, he was like, hey, just like you should email your cover letter and resume to to Paris, and then Paris is the CEO, and we'll try to get you an interview. And that's how I kind of got connected. And then after that, I just started working on sets with RiTE Media, and that's how I met, more people. And then not just that, but I also started working with SCAD students, and that's when I met you guys. Because through Caitlin, my girlfriend, she was getting into the acting side of things, and whenever they needed an actor last minute, she'd be like, "Hey,
usually
like my
how
boyfriend
things go
can
at
act."
SCAD, it's always last minute.
Yeah. Right. So that's how I met you guys. That's how I met Michael and Natasha, both of you guys, and that's how we started connecting. And then you guys found out that I could work behind a camera too, and you started putting me behind the camera. So.
We didn't know. We thought you were just an actor.
Yeah.
And then turns out you're this dope DP director also.
Everything. A writer too.
Mm-hmm.
Great
Trying
writer.
to be, yeah.
No, you're good. But before we go, we have the question. That's gonna be the question. What's your favorite movie and what's your favorite show? You can have multiple. It's okay to say multiple.
Okay, cool.
Sophia literally came with the list.
Yeah, our last guest came with a full-on list. She was ready.
Okay, I think I can narrow it down. But give me a second here. Let me think. So I can tell you as far as like shows go, The Office is definitely up there. That's something that I can like turn it on in the background and I can watch it.
Working, yeah.
And I can listen to it and I can always laugh when I watch it. There's a few like anime that are really good that I really love. Like One Punch Man is just incredible. The animation style is just incredible. Trying to think of like any other TV shows that are really, really good. Breaking Bad for sure. Oh my God, yeah, Breaking Bad.
Michael said that too.
yeah, Breaking Bad is incredible. And then like I would say like the first like 4 seasons of Game of Thrones were really, really good. First 4 or 5 seasons. Yeah. We'll talk about that.
Oh God.
And that I think that was the top of my head for like TV, but like movies, I have a few movies. I mean, I said Moonlight earlier. Moonlight is definitely one of those movies that like I always think of. Like I just love the aesthetic of it. I love the color. I love everything about that movie. I really loved No Country for Old Men. That might be like my number 1 favorite movie.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, just because
I did not expect you to say that. But
yeah,
okay.
it's just so there's so much going on in that movie, and there's such amazing cinematography and such amazing acting, and just the way the story just kind of like all comes together at the end is just I just love it so much. And then there are 2 other movies that I grew up with watching with like my best friend, Kung Pao Fist of Fury, which I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's
I have not.
Yeah. It's what's his name? His last name's Odenkirk. But what he did was they had like a really, really tight budget, and they ended up like they took like these 2 really old kung fu movies and they cut them together, and then they green screened the director into the scenes as an actor.
What?
And they matched him in. Yeah, right. And it's just like really silly, really ridiculous comedy, the kind of stuff that like a 6th grade middle schooler boy would laugh at, right? But we could like quote that movie nonstop. And then Monty Python and the Holy Grail is another one that I kind of
oh my
watching.
gosh, we were just watching that the other day, and like for a good 48 hours, my boyfriend Brandon and Michael kept saying, "'Tis merely a flesh wound."
Just merely a flesh wound. Yeah. That I love Monty Python stuff, and I think those are the top movies. And there are a bunch of other movies that I've seen, or obviously over the last like 10 years. I've just obviously you pay more attention the more you get into filmmaking. But yeah,
Isn't
those
that
are
weird though? Like I can't turn it off, and it makes me so mad.
Yeah, it makes me mad too.
I can't not analyze.
It's part of being a filmmaker. That's not gonna stop.
I wonder. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, please go ahead. You good?
Oh no, I was gonna say like I'm just like really. Sometimes I'm really like envious of my friends who like I go to the movies with, and they're like, "Oh man, that's a good movie," and I'm over here thinking like, I wonder how they got that shot when the camera went down and then it went up and the lights were like this and then I don't know, like, and the acting, and then they're like, no man, it was just a good movie, like stop overthinking it. And I'm like, I can't
Yeah, you can't.
I can't turn it off.
I think we'll reach a point in our lives that we just stop watching movies. We just create.
I think that's why I always go back to
whatever.
shows. I think that's why I always go back to shows like Parks and Rec and like Frasier or like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because I'm like, I'm not thinking about the technical aspects. I'm just like, make me laugh.
Yeah.
Right. Like desensitize me. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for your time. Will you share your social media with the people so they can follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Instagram is where I'm at all the time. So it's just at Nick Tabidze, which is just NickTabidze. So I'm not posting anything right now because of the Black Lives Matter movement. I feel like it'd be like a little insensitive. So I'm just waiting, just like posting more stories about the movement and stuff like that to kind of like further that along. I feel like anything I post is just going to be a little too like selfish or self-centered. So, but I mean, give me a follow whenever, and that's
definitely give Nick a follow and check out the Little Skies music video, which will also drop in the description for you guys to look at. But thank you, Nick, so much. You're a pleasure as always.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And we'll see you later.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed Nick's interview as much as we enjoyed talking to him.
Nick, my man.
Any words of wisdom for our viewers, guys?
Don't act like Ryan, please.
What do you mean? What the?
Okay, yeah. Don't act like Ryan. But as always, if you're not subscribed, please take the time to subscribe to our channel. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And just support. The more you guys support, the more our podcast can grow and the more we can do things for you guys. Also, don't forget to check out our merch store. Go get yourself a Struggle is Real t-shirt, hat, mug, dog bandana, baby bib, anything.
Everything.
Just a little bit of everything. And don't be afraid to hit us up on social media either. Sure. If you guys have ideas for us or there are people that you want us to talk to, let us know. We're here for you guys.
Also, if you guys have, because we talked about music videos, if you guys have any questions, just submit it through the comments below, then we'll try to answer as best as we can.
Yes, as always, our DMs are open. But thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Peace.